Welcome to this week's episode of the Cheese and the Alien Show. I'm the Cheese. You met my co-host, the Alien, last week. We will be switching off on who hosts the show each week, since it's kind of hard to co-host together when you're 1,300 miles apart. So, now that you have an idea of what's going to go on each week, we would like to start off with a congratulations to both Elliott Sadler and Denny Hamlin on their huge win last weekend in Phoenix. They were both well-deserving, well-earned wins, and the two of them are some of the Alien's absolute favorite drivers, so I'm sure she's slightly jealous that I get to host this week's episode instead of her. I would like to also add that Denny's burnout was awesome. That's what every burnout after a win should look like. All the way down the front stretch, that's what you want to call it at Phoenix. I wish we had burnouts like that every week. Thank you, Denny, for reminding us of what a true winner's burnout should look like. I had a little bit of a scare watching this cup race that our local ABC and Fox stations had to go off the air last Friday night because they were afraid that the weight of the snow on their broadcasting tower was going to make it collapse. So they had to evacuate the station and the surrounding houses and everything. And then the high winds on Saturday kept them from fixing it. And luckily, TV came back on a few hours before race time, thinking, okay, everything's good. Until there was about 100 laps to go. All of a sudden, the Fox station goes off the air again. So I immediately pull up the MRM broadcast on my computer, listening to it, trying to figure out. I knew there's another local station to the north, the Perks of Living on a state line. Trying to figure out how to get the Fox station to tune in, and after about 10 minutes, finally got the picture back, got to see Denny's win. All was good. The Alien and I are joking that we're going to blame Chad Canal, since my local Fox station is in his hometown of Rockford, Illinois, so it just seemed fitting. He gets blamed for everything else these days. The first thing from the actual race that we decided to talk about this week is the accident between Carl Edwards and Ryan Newman on track. And apparently, from what we've been hearing, Ryan Newman thinks that he owes a little bit of payback to Carl for wrecking him. Now, I'm a huge Carl Edwards fan, and even the first shot I saw, it did kind of look like Carl was at fault. But if you watch the other camera views and everything, Carl's car was kind of pushed slightly below the yellow line, and nobody could hold that low of a line at that point in the race. So, in the end, we think it was just a racing deal. No one's to blame here. The other biggest story from this week seems to be the almost cup ride that Elliott Sadler had in the 55 car for FWR. What was it, even 24 hours after he'd announced he was going to race 5 races in that car, that all of a sudden it was all off the table? I, like probably many of you, were thinking, it's got to be the manufacturers. One of them was not happy. Chevy and Toyota, completely different manufacturers. He obviously has contracts with Chevy for the 2-car nationwide and even racing the 33 at Daytona. But now everyone's claiming that that had nothing to do with it. That was never even talked of. It was just Sadler and Childress sat down, thought that they should just focus on this nationwide program, which I do believe that. I'm not saying they're lying with that. But we think that the manufacturer battle was also behind it, no matter what they say and how many times they want to deny it. In our favorite commercials segment of the show, we love the new Tide commercial. So glad that they took advantage of that giant advertisement that they got during the Daytona 500 red flag of getting to wash off of the track. And as the Alien said, what better way to prove that this detergent is going to get stains off my clothes if they can get jet fuel out of a racetrack. So good job on that, Tide. For our fashion segment, which is why we even started the show in the first place, I was seeing some pictures on Monday put up by Turner Motorsports. Didn't realize how much facial hair Justin Allgaier has acquired in the off-season. Now, I've got to admit, It looks good on him. We approve. I think it makes him look more his age. Kind of gets rid of the last little bit of maybe baby face that he had. And who started this trend of all these drivers growing facial hair anyways? The full beards, all that. Was it Junior with his hobo beard? Or was it Jimmy Johnson? He seemed to be pretty early in this facial hair trend too. We also think that, now that it's been another week and Denny's facial hair is growing in more, filling out completely, we're going to give him a second chance on last week's ruling. So now that it's grown out, it looks better than it did. We still prefer the clean-shaven Denny, or just the light, go for a couple days without shaving, but we're going to give him a second chance and let this finish up. The alien reminded me of the awesome chest bump between Dinger and one of his crew members right after the national anthem on Sunday. That was awesome. We love getting to see that on camera. That's how you should be getting pumped up right before you get into the car, have a little bit of fun, get ready with your buddies and your team, go out there to win the race. Lastly, the alien and I started last year playing the fantasy NASCAR games on ESPN and NASCAR.com, and after I had one heck of a dominating week at Daytona, both of us are typically mid-pack on all of our fantasy teams, no matter what we do, to where we ended up last year. I should have known my first place on all three teams was not going to last past Daytona. Sure enough, the alien got me last week. She's going down at Vegas. Got all of my Roush drivers on my team, ready to take her down again. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you come back next week for our newest comments on fashions, commercials, and anything else that we find entertaining or interesting in the NASCAR world.